Brother, I'm probably going to say something that might piss you off a little bit, but I only say it because I actually want to help you. And I don't want to just say what sounds nice, because if just saying what sounds nice worked, then the podcast you listen to, the books you read would actually get you to start taking action. Or the meditations that you do every other day would help you be able to sleep at night. But instead, you still lie awake in bed wondering how in the hell you are supposed to bridge the gap between who you are and who you know you can be. And it pisses you off every single day how far you are away from your potential. So you lie awake just wondering where you can find this missing piece of the puzzle that whenever you finally get it, you'll finally be able to start taking action and become the man that you know you should be. Well, here it is. Everything that is in your life is your fault. So, if you're happy with the reality that you have created, then it's your fault and good for you. And if you're not, it's still your fault. Why? Because people will always say, well, I can't control everything that happens to me. And you're correct, but you can control how you respond. Remember, responsibility is your ability to respond. And that's it. So, if you feel like you continuously show up time and time and time again, but nothing's clicking for you. And everything just seems so much harder for you than for everyone else. But you put in the work, you learn the tactics, you learn the strategy, you do everything that looks right on paper, but yet nothing ever goes your way. It is your fault. And no tactic, no strategy, no book, no podcast, no mentor, no nothing will be able to help you until you decide that you can actually achieve the things that you say you want to achieve, because you will never outperform the things that you believe. Because if you don't believe it's possible, you won't even take action. That's why your computer is probably full of a bunch of half-assed ideas that you started working on, you started planning, replanning, and replanning again, and then you stopped. Because you spent all of this time planning and preparing the vessel, but you never shot because you did not believe that it was actually possible for you. So instead, you watch other people live the life that you want to live, and then you tell yourself, like, I just need to find this one thing. The issue with this is you're looking externally, and you'll never be able to fill a hole inside of you with something external. Your internal dictates your external. Everything around you is just a reflection of your internal state. Why? Because as humans, we emit a frequency. And that frequency attracts more of the same back to us. So if we're always thinking about lack, if we're always thinking about how we can't achieve this thing or how we're not good enough, then you're just going to keep attracting more things that are on that frequency into your life. And you're going to look around and be like, how the hell am I supposed to create from this? But when you start to change your energy, you change your frequency, you start to attract more things that match that frequency as well. And so then you start saying, oh, what needs to be true for me to be able to achieve this? Okay, let me go find it. And then you start to find the things that you need, and you are able to actually act on them. Because whenever you're doing self-help, all you're really looking to do is be able to get out of your own way, get past that internal resistance that is holding you back, that internal ceiling that you keep banging your head on. But until you believe that you can accomplish the things that you want, that you can break past the ceiling, you never will. You will keep pulling yourself back down. And the key to being able to do this is taking full responsibility of your life and understanding that by becoming conscious and aware of the thoughts that you allow in your head, and creating a new role that you believe you play within your own story will change everything else. And so stop looking external, stop trying to read the book, stop watching all of the freaking motivational videos on YouTube and everything along those lines, and just look in, look within. Do the internal work that is necessary for you to make the impact that you want on the external, for you to become the version of you that can provide for their family, that can do cool shit, that can have a savage physique, that can do all of the things that you promised your younger self. You first look within. And when you make that shift internally, you make that shift externally. That's why I always say, shift the character, you shift the outcome. Because the character dictates the outcome. Because the character you believe you play is the identity that you hold. And your identity dictates your paradigm. Your paradigm dictates your thoughts and feelings. Your thoughts and feelings dictate your actions. Your actions dictate your habits. Your habits dictate your life. And so by changing the character, changing the role, changing the identity, everything else changes as a byproduct. And I want to tell you a story because I remember whenever I first got into the fitness space, I was selling gym memberships back when I was in college. And people would come in and they would all have, like, in a way, kind of the same story, just saying like, oh, I want to get in shape, I want to lose some weight or anything like that. But like, you have to really try to understand why somebody wants to make a shift. Because going from not lifting heavy things all the time to saying, yo, I'm gonna go pick up some heavy things, there's something underneath, like, that you have to get out to be able to motivate them to actually take action on the things that they said they wanted to do. And so as you start to peel back the layers, everyone would always be like, I want to build my confidence. I want to be respected more. I want to start trusting myself more. Different things like that. And they were looking at fitness to be able to help them get there. And what they really wanted to do was just change the role that they were playing and allow themselves to step into these characteristics of the new character that they wanted to show up to the world as. And they used fitness as the vehicle. And that's why everybody in the Shift program not only builds their mind, but they build their body. Because whenever you build both of these, you create a vehicle that can take you anywhere. Think about it. If you think clear, if you realize that you are someone that trusts themselves, if you master the art of consistently showing up, you master the art of pushing yourself, eating healthy, if you look good every single time you look in the mirror, you put on clothes and it doesn't fit all tight and uncomfortable. Your buttons aren't like pushing out whenever you put on a dress shirt. But like, you see your abs whenever you take your shirt off. Imagine what that does whenever you show up to work, whenever you go to talk to that girl. Because now you're building the inner confidence. You've completely shifted the character that you have shown up as your entire life. And that's why. When you shift the character, you shift the outcome. Not because of the external things. Like going to the gym, getting big, it's cool. Having muscles is cool. I'm not going to hold you. But it's the internal shift you make and the respect that you grow for yourself in the process of you building the body, building the mind. And so if you are not happy with your life right now, start by building the vehicle, building the vessel. Work on building the most savage physique that you possibly can. Don't settle at like 12% body fat and try and compare yourself to the people around you. No, compare yourself to the highest version of you, because when you do that, then that's when you will finally feel fulfillment. You'll stop settling. You'll be excited when you wake up in the morning because now you're chasing the best version of yourself. And reality is that which you are aware of. And so, by you changing the thoughts that you allow in your head, by you changing the things that you pay attention to, by you taking action and realizing that by taking action, all of that confusion, that clutter, it disappears because you're in the process. All of the planning that you used to do, the planning where you have all of these half built freaking business ideas and different things like that in your computer. The reason why they seem so scary, so daunting, why you stopped them is because all you did was plan. You never took a single action to move forward. And even if you did, you didn't do it long enough to be able to get the outcome that you desired. And so, if you can learn how to take action and do that consistently and show up, you start to change the things that you are aware of and you start to see the things around you that move you closer to the character that you want to be. And you start to upgrade your role. And when you start to upgrade your role, then magically all the little tactics that you had before start to click. Because now you're doing them at the level of respect that they deserve. You're not doing them from this lack, from saying, oh, I hope this thing will somehow pull me forward. I hope this thing will somehow fix every single thing. No, you have created the new character. You live inside of that new character, and now you respect yourself enough to do it to the best of your ability. You don't let that internal resistance hold you back because you know what your potential is. And the only way for you to tap into that potential is for you to believe that it's possible. Because you must believe in order to achieve. And the things you believe in, the things you are most aware of, will dictate your reality. Because your reality, in the simplest form, is your responsibility. So stop looking externally and trying to get things that are outside of you to get you to feel a certain way internally, and look internal. Figure out what character you want to create. Become so hyper specific on how they look, how they dress, how they talk, what their hairstyle is, what type of women they want to date, like everything. And then go to work and start building that version of you. Start with the body, start with the mind. Build the confidence in that arena, build the consistency, and then build that into every other area of your life. Because again, fitness is not the destination, it's the vehicle. And that's why within shifts, we put so much importance on building the vehicle. Because when that clicks, when that is firing on all cylinders, everything else in your life becomes so much easier. Not because of the muscle, but because of the person you build in the process. And if you want to learn more about Shift, then there's an application below. All you have to do is just fill it out and I'll reach out to you and see if we could be a good fit to work together. Either way, brother, always remember, shift the character, you shift the outcome. And I'll see you in the next one.